This week I've got The Wedding Banquet, which is a remake of a 1993 Ang Lee film. And in this version, it centers around two different gay couples who are going through their own relationship traumas and turmoil and, pivot points in their relationships. There's one couple played by Bowen Yang and Han Ji-chan, and in that case, Bowen Yang's a little commitment phobic, and Han Ji-chan is in the US on I think it's a student visa, but he's been in grad school for many years. He's just using it to extend his stay. They've been in a long-term relationship, and Han Ji-chan wants to take it to the next level, and Bowen is not quite there yet. The other couple is played by Lily Gladstone and Kelly Marie Tran. They are trying to have a baby, and it explores all the challenges of things like in vitro fertilization and trying to have a baby outside of doing it naturally. I thought that their relationship actually, I think, adds the most to this film. So the original version is about a bisexual man who decides to get married in order to get his green card, and so he marries a woman. And in that scenario, it's like, oh, okay, well, it's not like he's uninterested in women, though he is in a primary relationship with a man at the time, but his family would not really accept that, so he decides to marry a woman. So it's complicated, and of course, families come in and they insist upon having a wedding. That is something that continues through this one. So this one has, I think, some more complicated and updated themes, and it's kind of a bummer because you would hope that in this year of 2025, however many years after 1993, that we wouldn't have to be exploring these themes. And yet, here we are. What I think I like the most about this version is that the women have a much more important role. There's much more agency. I also think we don't get to see the exploration of what it takes to potentially have a baby, the cost, physical, emotional, and financial, to have a baby with aid, through IVF, through all this stuff, and I think the two women in this really do a good job of displaying all of the challenges and the emotions. And I think Andrew Ahn, who directs this version and helped co-write the updated version, I think he did a really good job of fleshing out these characters, because they are there's only one woman in the original, and it's she's effectively straight. I don't think she is as well-rounded a character. And so by adding in this additional relationship, I think this makes this an update with value versus just a flat-out remake. Because when they said they were remaking it, I was concerned, because one, it's an Ang Lee film and he's great, but two, is it a little bit dated, ? And then the other thing that is very timely about this film is that even though it was filmed in 2024, it already feels like the challenges that these characters face are actually even more relevant and more heightened because of the environment that this film is coming out in 2025 in America, etc. I think all the actors do a spectacular job. There is a few moments where it feels like it might run a little long, or maybe you're just frustrated at the characters intentionally. There are moments where they are indecisive and you're just what you should be doing here, and you get frustrated on their behalf. Some of those moments might run a little long for me, but overall, I really enjoy this film. It was really nice to see a cast on screen who was just oh, these look like people I know and my friends, and are more well-rounded, relationships. There are hyperbolic complications with it. I can't believe I didn't even mention. So Joan Chen from Didi plays Kelly Marie Tran's mother. Yeon Yu Jung from Minari, who I think is such a brilliant actor. I wasn't familiar with her before Minari, but after seeing that, I was oh my god, of course. She plays the grandmother of Han Ji-chan, and their relationship is really complicated, and I did a lot of crying at any of the adult or maternal relationship building, etc. amongst the people. So if you have a complicated relationship with your parent, bring some tissues. I also was tearing up in a good way, because I felt like this is these are well-rounded characters. These are people I know in my life, and to get to see them on screen in a thoughtful and funny dramatic film was just really a delight. I am going to give this a 4.7 out of 5.